Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia, and in this particular video we will be continuing our sequel playlist, right? I hope that until so far you have watched all the episodes, and in this particular episode we will talk about common table expressions. We will talk about case statements in sequel. This is again one of the most important session as we are approaching towards the further new episodes. You will observe that we are approaching towards the advanced concepts of SQL. So please make sure that whatever learnings you are gaining from this particular episodes, you will document it properly. You will try to do the implementation of whatever projects I'm doing in this particular episodes. That would be of great help for you all in terms of first of all, whatever tech domain you are entering, and specifically, I'm saying if you want to explore data specific domains like data scientist, data engineering, data analytics, you will observe that in this all these domains, SQL plays a very crucial role. So please make sure you will document your learning in a proper manner. Apart from this, I hope you all are aware that we are very soon starting our ML Bootcamp, which will be on 13th of May, and very few limited seats are still left. So if there is anyone who is still interested and wants to explore ML, specific algorithms that we have in data science with me, with respect to mathematical intuitions, with respect to the end-to-end projects, with respect to the implementations, how the things are working internally. So, we are very soon starting our batch. So please make sure you will just check out the page. I'll attach the link in the description of this video. You will just check it out and explore. If you have any sort of doubts, please make sure you can reach out to me. Email ID is also available in the description of this video. You can just explore and check it out. Please make sure you will hit like button. You will share this video with each and everyone. I'm expecting that you are learning so much from these episodes, and that's the only objective by of launching this kind of playlist in my channel, right? So with this, let's start our journey to learn case statements and common table expressions in SQL.
If else condition everyone knows, right? Is there anyone who is not aware about conditional statements? I'm not saying that specific to any programming language. I think be it any programming language, loops are loops, conditions are conditions. So are you aware about the conditional statements like if, elif, else that we have in Python, if else that we have in Java or C++, right? So basically, for example, if I will say ki if any student will join live sessions very sincerely in the boot camp and pay attention towards that sessions, maybe I'm saying that he will be able to get the he will be able to get the let's say he will be able to easily, chances are very high, probability is very high that he will be easily able to crack the interviews, right? And if this is not the case, in else part, I will say, maybe we are saying that maybe he will face some difficulty depending upon his or her preparation level. So, conditional meaning that you are trying to specify any condition. Any condition. Now, semantic or syntax will get changed depending upon which kind of programming language you're using. But the concept will remain same. That after if you have some constraint, you have some condition, and you are saying that if this condition will hold true, in that case, go to this condition, this particular statement. Otherwise, go to the below statement. That is the way to, I would say, completely write the or understand the conditional part, logical part. Same thing if let's say I want to do in SQL. So the question is, how can we do that? For example, if I will say ki we have this courses table on the website, and I'm saying that depending upon the price of the course, mark that course as a expensive course or moderate course or cheap course. So I want to create one I can say column name by the name of, let's say, course fee status. And I'm saying that if, let's say, the price of the course, so every course has its own unique price. And as of now, let's say we have 3 courses, but in future, just now I have said that plan is to launch further courses. So I'm saying that at any point of time, whenever I launch some new course, and if the price of that particular course, I'm giving one condition to you, is, let's say, bigger than maybe 3599, then I'm saying that, let's say, this course is expensive course, at least for the students. We can say it's an expensive course. For industry people, it's quite cheap. So we are categorizing some number, and depending upon that, depending upon the audience that I have, it's an expensive course, let's say. Now, if, let's say, I'm saying the price of the course is bigger than 1499, then I will mark it as a moderate course. Otherwise, if, let's say, the price is 999 or less than 1499, in else condition, you can say, beat any of the price like 599, 999, 1399, 1299, although we don't have any courses like this. But let's say for other websites, you might see that there are many websites where the recorded videos are there and they are priced just rupees 999, right? There are so many courses. So they will, let's say we will mark it as a cheap course. So I want to categorize it, the status of this course fee, depending upon the audience. Let's say for my part, if I'll tell you that 70% of my audience belongs to industry people, right? Because data science stuff and DSS stuff also, people are watching. If I'll talk about the statistics on my YouTube, so industry people are there who are having an age of 26 to, let's 34. Maximum audience belongs to that particular part. In my stats, on my LinkedIn also, on my YouTube also. So it indicates that many people are belonging to industry professionals who wants to either go into this domain of data science, or they are highly experienced, they want to switch from service-based company to product-based company, and they're learning DSA for that purpose. That's the major audience. But 30% is there who is students. When I'm saying students, means they are freshers. They are either in their second year, third year, fourth year, preparing for their placements. And now they know that placement time is very, very near. So I have to prepare for DSA or maybe SQL or maybe data science, because let's say as a fresher, I'm interested towards going in that domain. So 30% belongs to that category, right? So what I'm saying is, depending upon the audience, usually people write their timings and the, prices as well. If, let's say, the proportion will be vice versa, then maybe for the 999 only courses will be there. For the 599 only courses will be there. Now, in this case, if you can see, I have some conditions which I want to explore. And depending upon those conditions only, I can mark those courses. So whenever this kind of need will come, this is called as a case statement. In a SQL, we call this term as a case statements. Case means the way we usually say in other programming languages, the conditional part of else, 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 else. We write it here as a case. It's a case where I'm writing a condition. You will write the condition by using a when clause. When price is bigger than this, and then. When and then. These two keywords you will use. So when you will write the condition, if this condition will become true, you will say, then mark it as this thing. If this is the condition which will become true, then mark it as this. Otherwise, in else part, mark it as this. So the way will be different to write a query. Semantic will be different, but you will observe the interpretation or the logical understanding will be exactly same. There is no as such difference that you will be able to observe. Makes sense? Any doubt in this part, anyone? Before we will see the implementation for the same. So this is the meaning of case statements. So whenever in your interview, or let's say when you're working in any project, you will feel that there are some conditions on the basis of which you have to write the results. You will always go for case statements in SQL. There is no other alternative. If you will observe, we have almost covered up all the topics in SQL. I think this is the first time where I'm saying that constraints are given, then only go for this. Whatever queries we have discussed till so far, there is no such constraints which is given to us, right? This is the first time. So always remember, whenever conditions are there, for example, if I will say that without SQL, how will you solve that problem? You will say to me, Priya, I will use if else condition. So same thing you have to use in SQL by using this case statement. Make sense? Any doubt?
Priya, what do you mean by constraints here?
Constraints means conditions. This is condition कि
Okay.
प्राइस अगर 3599 से बड़ा होगा तो ये मार्क करना है. Constraints मतलब conditions.
Okay.
Okay? Perfect. So let's do one thing. Let's go to the MySQL workbench. ठीक है? What we can do now? If you remember, we just try to first of all open your new query tab and write a name as case statements and CTE queries, the agenda for today's class. Do it if anyone has not done it yet before I will proceed. And just try to open your course update table if you have, or if you are working with the course table only, you can open that as well, whatever is feeling comfortable to you. But if you remember, we have updated our course table by the name of course underscore update. So I'm using that table only as of now to illustrate you the concept of case statements. Case statements in SQL. Just do it. I'm waiting. If everyone is ready, please give me a confirmation in the chat window and then we will start. Ready? Everyone? Okay. Now, I want to create a new column in this table by the name of, as I told you. So, I want to create a new column named as course fee status. Okay? And what I will do here is, I will say conditions are, if the course fee is bigger than, let's say I'm saying 399, then I will mark this course as a expensive course. This is my condition. So let's try to use multi-line comments here because we have multiple conditions. So we are saying if the course fee is bigger than this, then mark that course as an expensive course. If the course fee is, let's say, bigger than 1499, then mark it as a, you can say, moderate course. 3 categories I'm writing. And otherwise, in else constraint, you can say, I will mark that course as a cheap course. This is the thing that we have, which we want to do. So now what I will do, I will say select. Now, whatever columns you want to select, you want to display with respect to the information as expensive, moderate, and cheap course, you can use those particular specific columns. So let's say I want to include the course ID in my display. I want to include the course name in my display. And I want to include the course fee in my display. Okay? Only 3 records. The 4th record I want as a course fee status. So this is the only thing which I want. Now what I will do is, I will try to write here case. And inside this case, I will write the constraints. I'm saying when the course fee which you are picking up is, let's say, bigger than, write the same condition, 3999. Then refer that course as a expensive course. Expensive course. When course fee is, let's say, you can say bigger than 1499, then mark that course as a moderate course. Okay? Else mark that course as a cheap course. Okay? Once you will write the constraints and the statements, Constraints meaning, again, I'm repeating the conditions, depending upon which this then statement will run. You will end this case by using end keyword, and then you will mention the alias name. I'm saying end as alias name. I want to give it as a course fee status, right? From table name is, in my case, it's course underscore update. You can just refer your table. Just try to run this and check the output in your system as well. So if you can see, in my case, I'm getting the 4 columns because I have selected 3 columns in the initial go. And the last one, which I have given as an alias name by the name of course fee status. So you can see we have course ID, we have course name, we have course fee, we have course fee status. So in total, as of now, we have, let's say, 4 courses: Excel Mastery, DSA, Bootcamp, and Foundations. So you can clearly see, depending upon this course fee, it is categorizing a complete Excel Mastery course as a cheap course. 4,999, there are 2 courses for that, DSA and the Foundations one. Both are categorizing it as an expensive course. And you can see SQL Bootcamp, which is of price 3,999. It is categorizing it as a moderate course. Now, even if you will write the actual, let's say, if let's say your price was, I think, 2,999 for this bootcamp, right? Then also it will consider the course price as moderate course, because that is how you have referred the constraint. It is not bigger than 3,999. So this is the literal meaning of case statement. And again, I am repeating, at any point of time, whenever you will observe कि some conditions are there depending upon which you have to make some category, at that point of time only we will go for this case statement concept. Any doubt you have, you can ask from me. Otherwise, we can move ahead now. Anyone? Just give me 1 minute. I am taking my water back. So far, so good. Shall we move ahead? Any
Yes, ma'am.
doubt in this part? Everyone getting the result in their system? Same result? Okay, perfect. After this, there comes a concept of case expressions in SQL. And people are very confused between these two things. What is the meaning of statements and what is the meaning of expressions? So until so far, I have discussed about case statements in SQL, and I have told you that in that case, there will be some condition which you will write. Depending upon that, if that condition will get true, then only this statement will run. When I'm saying expressions in SQL, in that case, conditions are not there. So the syntax will remain almost same, but let's say I will fix the number. I will say, if my course price is 7,999, then it is a premium course. If my course price is 4,999, it's a plus course. So I will try to categorize my course type on my website into 3 categories now. I'm saying one is the category of a premium course. Another one is a category of plus course. And the last one is a category of a regular course. Depending upon the price of the course, I am referring 3 courses into 3 categories. Not 3 courses, any courses into 3 categories. either it will mark it as, I will mark that course as a premium one or plus one or regular one. I think you must have seen a lot many people website where depending upon the price, they usually have the plans. Like what they usually do, ki if the course price is minimum, means it's a part of a regular course, so they will just give you the recorded videos. Then they will say in the plus course you will get the access of the live sessions, but it's not happen on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. It's just 3 or 4 sessions you will be able to get. Then they will say there is a premium course where I will meet you all every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, personally to you and ask your concerns. So usually this is how the current trend is going on. You will go to any website, they will, if they are a very experienced person or people and are learning the courses from several years, highly experienced people I'm saying. For example, if you will go to the website of Ranveer Allahabadia, how many of you are aware about him? I hope many people, right? He's a very big personality nowadays. So if you will go to his website, there are many courses he's launching. So 2 3 days back only I went to his website. He launched some new course regarding the podcast. So he's taking podcast for now several years. At least I'm listening it from past few years, his podcast. I don't know when he started, but I started listening few months back only, and I find it's very high quality work that he's doing, and he's trying to connect with the people who have done something amazing in their life. So I find it very interesting, right? That concept itself, I find it very interesting. So it's not only about technical things. Obviously, it's also about that what other things we are aware about in our life, whether it be doing any task, whether it be about relationships and any other thing, right? So I was listening about his podcast, and that's where I got to know that he has launched the course also about the podcast part. So I went back to his website. He has attached the link in the description. And that's what I have seen. I think his website contains few plans, gold plan, premium plan. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly, but I really find it the idea amazing. And I have seen many people are doing the similar kind of a things. So this is kind of a plan which, let's say, if we want to organize our database in that sense. So that is where you don't require the case statements to run. You can do it via case expression. So what is the difference? You will say in case expressions, you will write, everything will remain same syntactically. You will say select, then you will say course ID, right? After that, let's say I am referring the course fee and the course name. Again, there are 3 fields which you want to display: course name, course ID, course name, course fee. Now I want to give a case expression. So I am saying case. Now, on which particular field you want to do a comparison, on which particular basis you want to categorize premium, plus, or regular. I am saying I want to categorize with a course fee. So I will write course fee here. And then I will write the constraint. A bit of changes there, if you will observe, between this case expression and case statement. And that's why many people are confused between these two things. So please pay attention how I'm writing the stuffs. And then you can try to write the same thing in your system. So what I'm saying is, after case, I'm writing which particular column I want to refer in order to categorize this type. In the above case, we have not mentioned anything after case because it's a case expression we have to write. And now there is no conditions which we are writing. We're just directly writing the numbers. So I'm saying when it's like, if let's say the price is maybe in our case, maybe 4,999, then mark that course as a premium course. Right? When it is, let's say I'm saying 3,999, then mark it as a plus course. Else mark the course as a regular course. Right? And then we are saying end as whatever be the alias name you want to give. Let's say I want to give the same alias name as course fee status, or you can say course type. That also you can refer course type. It may be premium, it may be plus, it may be regular. And then finally you will refer from table name is course underscore update. So if I just run this particular part, you can see how beautifully I will be able to categorize my course type as regular, premium, plus, or premium. 1 4 double 9, it's a part of a regular. 4 9 9, it's a part of a premium. 3 9 9, it's a part of a plus. 4 9 9, it's a part of a premium. So what is the difference between expressions versus case statements? In case statements, we will write after when the conditional thing, the constraints, bigger than, smaller than, whatever value you want to write, equal to, whatever be the operators you want to use, you can use for the comparison person. In the case expressions, you will not do like this. You will say whatever be the field you want to mention with respect to which you will write a course type, mention that particular field, and then direct writing the numbers. No comparison. Directly writing the numbers and defining if this is the number, compare it, mark it as this one. If this is the number, mark it as this one. Otherwise, mark it as this one, and so on.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, yes, please ask.
So a case statement compares the two, and then you get a result, but the expression just says this is what it is, and then you get basically just the same that you just wrote it.
Correct.
Okay.
Any doubt anyone is having? So now you can ask me that, Priya, again, same question you can ask from me, that how will we get to know at what point of time, sorry, light is not there, but I think I'm clearly audible and network is also working fine. So if let's say you will ask me, ki, Priya, how will I get to know ki at what point of time I will go for the case statement and at what point of time I will go for the case expression? So my simple answer is that if let's say they have specifically mentioned ki we have providing some conditions, some constraints, some conditions are given to you. For example, this kind of conditions are there. So whenever comparison is there, conditions are there, in that case, always go for case statements. Without case statements, you cannot able to execute the part. If let's say they are saying that I am very stubborn in terms of number, if that exact number matches, then only mark it as this one, right? So in that case, go for case expressions. Simple thing. Okay? So whenever there is a comparison thing going on, right, go for case statements, otherwise go for case expressions. Syntax, bit of changes there. In the expressions, you're writing after case part, which field you want to do the comparison further. Because here too, you will not use that course fee. But in the above case, you don't need to write that because you're using inside that itself, you're clearly specifying which particular field you have to compare with. That's the only difference. Is that fine to everyone? What is the meaning of case statements, case expression? It's a category of one component only, if else condition part, just like the way I have told you that in the starting part, okay, whenever there are if and else part, in the SQL we represent it by when and then, when and then, when and then. And at the end we write it by else. The same thing, two components, expressions and statements. I have already shown you with example what is the difference between these two. Yes,
How many
you can imagine kind of if else and switch case in programming. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Kanisha.
is there a limit as to, sometimes you say that you shouldn't have too many loops. Is there a limit to how many when then statements you should have before you do something else?
Loops are different.
No, I'm saying, like, is there a limit between, like, you can't have like 14 when then statements before. Is there,
No,
there's a
there is
limit?
no as such limit.
Oh, okay.
See, if you are aware about the concepts of DSA, or if you guys are aware about the concepts of data structured algorithms, again, DSA come into picture here. If you observe, key, if I'll talk about optimizations again, there are conditional statements that we have. Let's say you're writing a code and you're writing your code completely by applying multiple if-else conditions, let's say. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Another code you are doing where you are applying multiple loops. When I'm saying loops, means you're applying for loop or let's say while loop. In Python, we have only 2 loops. When I'm saying conditional statements, you're applying if-else condition. With respect to SQL, so it's with respect to programming. Specifically, I'm referring at Python programming, let's say. Now, when you're writing a query, it's on top of whenever you execute any query, internally code is executing, right? Internally code we are trying to create, or our system of MySQL is trying to create. So in SQL, that is representing by when and then. Same thing. Loops is something which is a part of sub-queries, which we have learned in the yesterday's session. Higher the sub-queries you will mention, it means higher time it will take to execute your query part. Now, when I'm saying ki there is no as such constraint, whatever be the number of when then you can apply in your query, will that affect your time complexity? Or it will be constant only, whatever with the number of when then you will apply?
It will be constant.
Yes, that is the fact which you have to understand. I'm again repeating. If else conditions will not increase your time complexity. Always remember. If you will apply 100 if else conditions also, your time complexity will not increase. The time required to execute your code. Same thing will go for the SQL command also. So if you're aware about the time and space complexity of conditional statements in DSA, you can relate it. So if you're writing multiple when then also in order to execute your query, it won't make much difference. There is no as such limit which you can think about this part. Because in terms of optimizations, always remember conditional statements are always optimized. But when you're going for looping, I always say higher the loops, higher the nested loops you are applying, higher is the, can I say time complexity? Same thing will go for this in SQL as subqueries. In your question, in your solution, if you're writing some SQL query and you're applying multiple subqueries, you are initiating a very high time complexity. So you need to solve the problem within very few subqueries so that optimization will be good. But in this case of when then, you don't need to think also. Optimization will always be great. Is it making sense?
Yes, thank you.
Ma'am, yesterday we have seen two queries for the same problem, which I have written one query I have written and one
Without
you have written.
subqueries?
Yes, so as per the optimization, you were saying that the subqueries part is more optimized.
Yes. So I am
And
comparing between these two. Now you are comparing between these two.
okay.
So I am comparing today between this part and this part. So between this and this, when then is more optimized. So if
And
any
between
problem you can
subqueries
solve
and
it via when then, don't go for subqueries. Now you are saying ki Priya, yesterday we have solved and we have compared between subqueries and join.
join. Yes.
Then join is a heavier operation.
Okay, okay.
And by saying that, in the yesterday's talk, we have only one subquery. But if let's say you are saying I am having some problem where let's say I'm applying 3, 4 subqueries, nested subqueries, then maybe almost equal complexity you are making in terms of doing a join and applying a subqueries. So always make sure you will have minimum subqueries in order to get the result. Don't complicate. That's why in yesterday's class also, I think someone has given me the result and that contains so much, huge number of lines of code, which he has mentioned in terms of the query part. Don't complicate it. If you can solve any problem in a very simpler manner, do it. Usually, when we learn about the complex concepts, we are fond of using that. And we think that we can't solve it without using those stuffs. For example, if someone learns about DP, in the DSA, they always want to apply DP in every question. And I always say, don't go directly to DP. Start with recursion. That problem is easily able to solve via recursion. Why you are applying DP? If there is a problem, you're getting a time limit exceeded issue, then go for advanced concepts. Same thing went here. If you will be able to solve some problem with a simpler concept and getting the result, it's a very good thing. If you are not able to do that, then only go towards these advanced concepts which we are learning nowadays. Make sense? Is it fine? Any other
Yes.
doubt anyone is having in their head?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is a discussion about the case statement. Now, another amazing concept is common table expressions, which is many people find it very confusing, and might be you will also able to observe that. But if you will pay attention fully, you will be able to learn it in a very beautiful manner. Common table expressions. Again, very, very widely used. You will use it very heavily whenever you are dealing with complex queries. Okay? So again, use these concepts whenever you are dealing with complex queries. If it's a very simple query, it can be solved very simply. Don't go with the window functions or common table expressions, right? These are the advanced things used only for the advanced queries. For example, today I'll show you what is the meaning of that. But before that, if I will ask from you, or if someone will ask you that at what point of time you should go for this common table expressions. So basically, one thing is the complex queries. Another thing is to make our code more understandable and readable. Understandable and readable. And second thing is, if let's say we want to use the queries again and again, reusability is one of the advantage that you will be able to get when we will discuss about common table expressions. How many of you are aware about the OOPS concept in programming? OOPS, Object-Oriented Programming Language. If there is no anyone who is not aware, you can again refer my Python programming playlist. Last video, I think, is about the OOPS programming. Just refer that. I have taken few months back only one live session on OOPS programming, and I have tried to convey the concept with the help of Python programming implementation on the group. So it's a very important concept, first of all, with respect to the interviews. And apart from this, in programming per se, this concept will help us to write a clean code, and helps us to enhance the reusability of a code. So with this intuition, with this motivation, common table expressions came up in SQL. So if you will observe each and everything, whatever we are learning from the day 1 till the day number 6, everything came from programming only. That is the only motivation. Optimizations, complexities. It's just that if let's say someone who is not from programming background or is not feeling comfortable to write a bigger size of a code, developers have done it very easy by writing a SQL command. So for him or her, writing a SQL command is a very easier task as comparable to writing a 20 or 30 lines of code or 200 or 300 lines of code. So this common table expression is getting that motivation from this OOPS concept, where they have seen key in programming part per se. Usually, we got the reusability via the OOPS concept, where we have a concept of inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, and so on. So if there is anyone, again, I'm repeating, not aware, please go. It's freely available on YouTube. You can just check it out. Everything I have explained in very detail. So same thing is available in common table expressions, where let's say I have written some query and I want to use it again and again. And it's very tedious task for me to write it again and again. That is where I will go for common table expressions. So to understand this concept in a pretty well manner, we will try to create today one more table by the name of orders. So until so far, we have working with the 3 tables: courses, employee, and learners. Is this like a function in Python? This OOPS is not a function in Python. It's a concept. It's a concept in Python programming, and not specific to Python programming. It's a concept which is equally valuable to any programming language. For example, Java, not any, but yeah, Java, Python, multiple programming languages. This concept is there. Okay? So it's not a function, it's a concept properly which you have to understand. What is the meaning of objects? What is the meaning of inheritance? What is the meaning of encapsulation? What is the meaning of abstraction? What is the meaning of polymorphism? So if you will be able to understand these concepts, when you will write a code in specific programming languages, you will be able to write a better, efficient code in a much cleaner manner, and you will be able to reuse that code again and again, right? So just check it out. You will get the clear idea what I try to convey here. Now, what we will do is, or what I want you to do is, I want you to create a new table today by the name of orders. Now you know that everyone who will do the payment in the payment gateway of Tech for All with Priya. So what will happen? Internally, there is a separate database for that as well. So I usually, because I'm the admin, so I went to the dashboard. I can see in the transactions in my particular dashboard, the name is transactions table. So in that, I can see what is the order ID. For example, let's say Kanisha has enrolled into my SQL Bootcamp course. So I can check what is the order ID, what is the order date, what is the student ID, right? Unique, what is the status? Is it finished? Is it completed? Is it pending? Is it closed? Right? And what is the primary key in that case? It will be the order ID. So every order, whatever you guys are purchasing, whether it be in a course of DSA or SQL or Excel, you will always get a separate unique ID for the same, right? So we will try to create a table by the name of, let's say, orders, or you can say transactions also. For that, you can write a transaction ID, but let's say order only. Create a new table by the name of orders in the Tech for All with Priya database. So do it. So what I'm looking forward is, I'm looking forward the field name as order ID, which you can create it as a primary key. Okay? Make it as a primary key. And you can do one more thing. You can, as of now, apply a auto increment feature here. Okay? Auto increment feature here, just like the way we have done for the other tables. Then I'm looking forward is the order date. Now, today I'm not telling you which kind of type you will use. You have to do it on your own because I'm sure you can do it. After that, you have to use order underscore student ID. Okay? Fourth field which you will create is the order status. Order status. And when we will do the insertion, you will observe that status, we can categorize it into multiple things. Either our status will be complete, or it will be pending, or it will be, let's say, closed. Okay? Do it. So these are the fields that I have. Then we will do the insertion. First of all, create it. After that, we will do the insertion of the reports inside the orders table. Do the creation first. Once it is done, you can share with me the command personally to me. And okay, just do it and then I'll tell you.
Can you just scroll up?
I got one answer by Siddesh. What about others? Okay, let me scroll up. Siddesh, it is wrong. Again, check what is the issue in this command. You have done something wrong in your creation part. Rectify it and send me again. When you are saying primary key, which is order ID, so is there a need to define a not null constraint in that part? At least now I'm not, I really don't want these kind of issues to be done by you. Again, think over it where you are going wrong. I have given you a hint as well. Nagasai, ordered date, right? Where is that coming?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, where it went?
Yeah, I did it.
You deleted?
It's just a minute.
Okay. Prabhutva.
From the fourth constraint, order status has to be these three values only: complete, pending, or closed.
Yes. But as of now, you don't need to focus on that part. When we will do the insertion, we will take care of this thing. Just do the schema of that. That's it. Um, I'm taking one of the command here, which I feel is most appropriate. I got the answer of many people, by the way. Let me take it. From Yashasvi, I am picking up the command. And let's see if there is any issue in this command. Create table. So I'm not orders. Okay. We have order ID, which is I'm saying auto increment, order date, timestamp type, not null, order student ID, which is of int type, order status, which is of varchar type. And because we are saying order ID is the primary key, so we can define it below by saying primary key. In the bracket, we can say order ID. So I feel it is appropriate. Let's try to run this. And now if you will see in the show tables part, you can check it out. We will be having orders.
Ma'am, do we have to you make the order student ID as foreign key?
I'm coming to that point. Just wait for a moment. So now this is fine. But one thing which you will observe here that when we will fetch the learners table, right? So learner ID is something which is a foreign key towards this order student ID. Just like the way, if you remember, the course update. So let me just try to open a SQL script of day number 2 or day number 1. Alright, nothing is saved. Just check at your end also. I have uploaded this file, but I cannot see anything. Maybe nothing is saved. I'm not sure. Anyhow, let's go back to this learners table. You can see key in the learners table, if you remember, we have made a foreign key of the selected courses, which is referencing to the course and the course ID. So don't you think we're supposed to do the similar task in this case because we are referring the order student ID? Even what you can do is you can, instead of writing a student ID, you can also say learner ID because that is what we have created. Learner ID. So we are trying to refer the learner underscore ID, right? In our orders table. Because I want key, whatever be the order student is placing, this order learner ID and the student ID will be exactly same. Right? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to convey here? So when you will do it your end, because in this particular database, we have tried to create on our own the things. So it might be the case that we have very lesser number of records, but in future, when we do it practically, definitely you have to make it as a foreign key. Okay? So she has made some changes. Now you did something wrong in these changes. What is wrong here? So let me try to do one thing. Drop table, order name, orders, right? Table name, orders. I'm dropping it completely. And let me change the schema again. So what you have done here is, first of all, comma should be there. Foreign key, learner ID. Again, refer this table. What is the foreign key? Current table column name. So do you have a column name by the name of learner ID in your orders table? You don't have. You just have
Order
order
student ID.
student ID. So maybe first of all, do one thing. It would be better that you will create, instead of that, learner ID. In my case, it was learner underscore ID, if I'm not sure. So I will try to create like that only. And then that is, you are referencing towards a learner's table. So what is the table name in my case? It's learner's table, learner ID. So if we can do like this, let's try to see now. There is some issue. Learner underscore ID. Learner ID does not exist in table. Acha. In my case, it is order. Now this is the thing which I was talking about. Let's now run this. And now if you will see again, show tables. Orders is there. Now if you will try to see the schema of the table, orders, you can just check it out. So can you see? The complete schema is there. Now if you have any doubt, you can ask from me in this particular schema. Any doubt, anyone? Before we will proceed.
Can you yes, can you scroll that? Thank you.
I think you remember the concept of foreign key, right? Everyone, which we have discussed in our, I think, first or second class itself, we have discussed that concept. So in this case also, if you will be able to observe, order learner ID and the learner ID should be same. Similar to the way I told in that day number 2 class, ki selected course and the course ID should be same. Similarly, in this case, order learner ID should be same. If let's say I'm getting some different learner ID, let's say 13 or 14, which is not available in my learners table. So which order I am placing or which order I am getting? That doesn't make sense. So is that fine that I'm trying to convey here? Any doubt in this part, anyone? Before we will move ahead. Now, if you will be able to observe order ID, we don't need to write it in the insertion part per se. We can just start with the order date, then order learner ID, and the order status. 3 things only we have to do the insertion. So I'm just trying to write few insert statements. Let me check the ID of the learners, because that is what we have to think. 1 से लेके 9 तक, only 2 is not there. So I just have to make sure in my insert statement, when I'm writing my order learner ID in the insert part, don't worry, I'll share these insert things. I'm just copying it so that it will not take much time for us to do the insertion, and we can focus more on the logical part of today's session. Because I feel these things you already are aware about. Order date. Okay. So this is done. So we have multiple orders entries now. And then in the last, we have order status. So let me write the order status here. Values. Now we have to write some values here in the brackets. Okay. Now we have a date. We have a ID. So we just have to make sure that this ID will be same as the learner ID. So 2 should not be there. So we can have maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 we can add, 7, 8, 9. Remaining we cannot add. Or we can add, but the status will be pending. That is fine. Okay. So status is either complete or it will be pending or it will be closed. But I feel the IDs that we have mentioned should not be out of the box. If we have, then we will definitely get the error. And then we have date value. Now I'm just copying this. Let me just first of all run this and then I'll share with you. So some issue is there in the order status. Where is that? Somewhere, yeah. Done. So let me now try to share with you. Oh, I cannot. So let me do one thing. Let me use the code share and share from that. So maybe, or maybe I can do one thing. So I'm giving you one document link. You can just refer it here and copy the command from there. So this is the insert command. That's it. Just don't focus on the verb part. It's something different. So take it from there and you can just insert in your system as well. So select star from orders. If I'll see now, I will be having a table in which order ID is there, order date is there, order learner ID is there, and status is there. Do it and then we will proceed.
Can you scroll up just a little bit from the insert part back to the code? I have an error from my foreign key. I'm not sure what I did.
Okay. Okay. Let me share this also in the document. So just refer this. In the second document, I have shared the schema also. Just make sure कि whatever be the learners table column name you are using, it should be same. And foreign key bracket table name, column name should be same. Just check the spelling. Once you guys have done these two tasks, you can just confirm to me in the chat window and then we will proceed ahead with the upcoming part. All the names are the same. It's saying it's missing references. Kanisha, can you share me the command which you are using in the chat window maybe?
You want the whole thing?
This one is getting error, right? Creation part.
The foreign key is.
I want the whole thing, whole command of create table.
Okay.
It is giving an error again with respect to foreign key. What should I do?
Avoid this space after learners. Kanisha. Prabhutva, you also share with me the command which you are getting error. Avoid the space.
Okay.
And is the column name is learner's ID for you? The what you
Yes.
have mentioned is correct? Okay.
Yes.
Do it.
Mhm.
Try running it again.
Okay. Order.
After avoiding the
Oh,
space part.
oh, I see. It's in the order. Order number was leaner. I left the R out of the order. So there's the error.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Great. Even just remove the space and R spelling is wrong. That's you are correct, saying it correctly. In the order learner ID, you are saying learner ID, and in that you are writing that learner ID. Rectify
Okay.
this and try to run it again. It should run fine then. Prabhutva. After foreign key, don't give a space. Don't give a space. Primary key, don't give a space.
Oh, no space.
I'm not saying Prabhutva. He's shared the command I'm saying to him.
Ma'am, which command?
In the create table command, in the primary key, you are giving space. Why you are giving? In foreign, just try to copy this command which I have shared and change as per your field names. For example, in your case, it's same only, right? So just copy this.
Okay, ma'am.
Just check it out. In the learners table, do you have the same value, same column name, learner ID in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, copy this because I think spacing issue is there in your case.
Okay, ma'am.
Just take it from the document and run this. If all the values are same, then it should run fine in your cases. Done for one student. What about the others? Do it and confirm to me once it is done, both the creation and the insertion. So after running this select star from orders command, you should be able to get an entire list of whatever you have inserted. So there are 12 orders till so far we have inserted. So once it is done, you can just let me know in the chat window. If everyone will be done, then we will start ahead.
So is SQL case sensitive? Because I think that was the problem. It didn't like the fact that mine wasn't uppercase.
Case sensitive by saying that the commands which you are mentioning is not case sensitive. You can write in a small and uppercase.
Uh-huh.
But definitely inside this, whatever values you are mentioning, it will be.
Okay. All right. I'm off.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have copy pasted your command, but then also it is showing the same error message.
What is the error?
Ma'am,
What
it
is
is
the error?
showing cannot add or update a child row, a foreign key constraint fails. Let me give you the screenshot.
We are doing similarly, then why is this issue is coming out? There is in the learners table, have you applied some different constraint apart from what we have done?
And let me see. Now, can you show me your learners table?
Cannot add or update a child role.
Yeah, I think 2 is missing in our Linux table, right? There might be some
Yes.
other value missing in his table. That might be reason.
But then he will get the issue in the insertion part, no? He is
Yeah.
getting the issue in the creation part.
Yes. I don't
In the
think.
creation part, he is getting this trouble.
Okay.
Ma'am, I send you the learner stable schema.
Show me the schema. Share the schema with me again with the orders table, which you have copied it from document.
Okay.
Not learners, orders. Share it with everyone so that if any other person also will be able to understand the mistake, they will tell you. Might be it won't, I won't be able to get at that moment, and any other student who can give a result. Learners table also share it with everyone. Let me see where is the issue. Learners.
Yeah, I'm having the same error. Foreign key constraint fails.
Is it? Why you guys are getting this error? If people we are not getting.
That's what ma'am, I would try to figure out.
Mm.
Ma'am, what is the reason behind this kind of error? What is the ma'am analysis? Can you tell?
And
Any other students who's facing the similar trouble?
No, I got the success.
So usually this kind of issues comes when you don't have the child row, which is learner ID in our case, the values inside the learners table, but you do have. So why is this issue is coming up? I'm not sure.
Ma'am,
So
should
at
I
any
set the
point of time, if like you are referencing, but that reference point is not available in your schema itself, that is where you get this kind of a issue. But as far as I can see, the table name is same, learners, and learner ID is available in your table.
shall I drop the learner's table or not? And then try again.
I'm not sure why, but I can do these one at a time. I just can't insert them all at once. It's letting me do.
Use semicolon,
Is your
I
is
semicolon.
your
also
is
face
your
the same problem.
is your create command is working fine, Kanisha?
I can create table is ready, and then I can insert
So wait. Create table is ready, but you're getting the same issue. No? This one you told me.
the foreign key, but let's see, I can do them one at a time up to number 9,
I
and
think
then
that is
it will.
because maybe some ID is missing in your learner's table.
Yeah, it's number 9. Number 9
Yeah.
is the one giving me trouble.
So
Everything
So
else
you
is
don't.
working.
replace that number with any other number. You will get.
Yeah. Okay.
So just make sure in terms of insertion part, whatever be the IDs which you're referring, right? Just check it out in the learner ID also. That particular ID will be there. If it is not there, you will get the issue. Same issue
Yeah.
you will be able to get. Same error, right? So you're referencing, but you just make sure that you're referencing a correct ID number. Whether is he using the database, ma'am? I mean, you use Tech for All with Priya.
Yes.
Uh,
Everything's there.
your database name is Tech for All Priya Prabhutva.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. Ma'am, mine also only giving the problem. So, ma'am, just remove the number 9 insertion part and we can continue this.
Just wait for a while, guys. You are facing a trouble in the insertion. This error is coming in the insertion, or this error is coming in the creation. That's the first question which I'm asking from you.
Ma'am,
If it
this
is in
error
the
is coming.
insertion, then
Sorry.
the only issue is that you are not referring your learner ID. Whatever be the learner ID available in your table, select a star from learners. Check in your table this learner ID part. For example, in my case, it is available as 1 to 9, right? You can see on my screen. So you have to write in this particular insertion only that values which are available in this learner ID. If you will write beyond any other value, then you will face an error. For example, in my case, 9 is available, 8 is available, 7 is available, 2 is not available. But in your case, if 2 is available, you can write it out. Is it
Yes,
making
ma'am, 2 is
sense?
available. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, done.
So why you said you are facing a difficulty in the creation command? So you should say कि
Ma'am,
insertion में दिक्कत हो रहा है.
ma'am, I was not sure from was, getting
So Nagas,
this.
I also saying the correct thing that you must face difficulty in the insertion. And I thought because you told me कि creation में हो रहा है, so I was using my brain in terms of where the insertion command is from.
Sorry,
ठीक
ma'am.
है. Is it done for everyone now? Shall we proceed to the session? If it is done to everyone. Like
Yes.
these questions where you're troubling, right? With respect to the foreign key, it means you guys are not aware about the concept of foreign key till so far. In the second class itself, we have discussed about foreign key where I told you that you have to just make sure, for example, if you remember, when we are talking about selected course and course ID, I told you this foreign key we're making sure that whatever be the learner is selecting as the course, that will match with the course ID. Otherwise, they will get the issue. This is the kind of a issue which the person will be able to get just now, which he has shared in the, I think, in the chat window, right? So, in the same case, here also, learner ID and order learner ID should be same. If you're writing something beyond which is not available in the learner ID table or learner's table, you will definitely get the issue. You will definitely get the error. Okay? Let's move ahead. Now, my next question is, I'm looking forward towards the total orders per student. Give me the command, write a command where per student, how many orders he or she has placed. For example, Yashasvi was the one, right? She has placed the order for DSA course. Then she has placed the course order for the sequel course. Maybe there was another student who is also there in my Excel course and now came here in this course. So what I'm really looking forward is ki with respect to every particular order, with respect to every particular order. So per student, how many orders students are placing? So can you do this particular part? How will you do that? So I'm looking forward as an output as the order learner ID. So where is that thing? Yeah, order learner ID. Followed by, I'm looking forward towards the, you can give an alias name as in the table output, total orders. I'm looking forward towards these two columns. So everyone's learner ID uniquely, whatever be the ID that I have, and the total orders for that. Give me the result. It's not difficult.
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
I want for every order learner ID, how many total orders he or she has placed. For example, one, learner ID 1, Akash Mishra. How many orders he has placed on my website? 3, Rishikesh Joshi. How many orders he has placed?
Oh,
4, how many orders he has placed? So ID of the learner and total orders he has placed. Give me the command to print that answer. And share it personally to me now. The command, whatever you will write, whatever you think should be the command which is giving us this result, you have to share personally to me, not to everyone. Correct? Yashasvi, correct. Very good. Waiting for other people also. It's very simple. Come on, guys, do it fast. Then we will make it complex. Then maybe I'll wait for a few more minutes. But it's very simple. Like if anyone was there for me in the initial 2 or 3 live sessions also, they will be able to write this command. This much simple. Don't go in advanced concepts in this part. Simply I am saying I'm looking forward to 2 columns, ID of the learner and total orders he has placed. Simple. You will think about join, window functions, case statements, then you will not able to implement this. Shall I get some answers from other students as well? Nangasai, Prabhutva, Sadesh, Kanisha, Akhil, Jeevan, Megha Sanji Sen,
I'm coming.
Siddhesh. So what we supposed to select? order learner ID, right? Correct, Nagasai, correct. Select order learner ID, right? We want total number of orders per student. So what aggregation function we will use here? Can I say count
Count.
star as we can give an alias name, which I have told you, you can give as total underscore orders. From what is the table name? Orders. Because we want individually per order learner ID. So what we can do, we can say group by order learner ID. That's it. Just try to run this command. So can you see? With respect to, in my case, now the answers may vary, but you should be able to get for all the individual learners that we have, unique ID is there and correspond to that, what is the total orders they have placed. Getting the same answer, everyone? Check it out. Second question. This is not looking great to me. I want, with respect to learner ID, learner first name, so that I get the information and the last name. So I'm looking forward towards two more columns. Apart from this, I'm saying I want not only the ID and the total orders, that too I want, but to make it look better, I want first name, last name also. Do it now. This is what I want now as an output. So I want four columns. Two columns are same only, the ID and the total orders. But in between these two columns, I'm looking forward to two more columns because I don't know who is 1, who is 3, who is 4, who is 5. I cannot remember these IDs. But yes, if I get to know the first name and the last name, maybe I will be able to remember that. Do it and give me the result. Share personally to me again. How will you do this problem? So I'm trying to ask you the problems which definitely you will face in your interviews. So you are saying no, Priya, tell us interview perspective. This is the only thing which they are expecting from. So I got response from Yashasvi again. So Yashasvi, I'm not looking for three columns. I'm looking for four columns. I have mentioned, right? See this? I think with the help of your query, I will be able to get the last three columns. You are saying it, you are doing it correctly, and your approach is very much apt, but I think you have not heard the problem statement properly. I'm looking forward towards the ID, then first name, then last name, and then orders. Accordingly, change your command. I think Nagasai's command is correct. The only thing is, again, he has not make sure about the order. See, as of now, the logically I am saying it is correct. But if you are doing in a platform, you will get a wrong output. Your test cases will not pass. So just make sure what question I am asking, in what format I am asking. When I'm saying ki I'm looking forward in the very first aspect, the ID, then first name, then last name, then orders, do it like that only. If you will make the habit from today onwards, then you will not face a difficulty, because in interviews, they will give you the platform where you have to implement and pass the test cases. And if you will just think logically and you will be like, ki, kya hi farak padta hai order se, then you will face a difficulty at that point, even though you know the concepts. So still okay, I am saying, but not appropriate. Test cases will not pass in your case also, Nagasai. So change it accordingly.
Yeah, change.
Acha. Megha Sanji Sehnu. Let me check his command. I think this is the appropriate one. For the first time, I'm getting some appropriate command. I feel so. By first look, I am saying this. I'm not sure. So let me just copy this command and then we will see whether the thing which I'm saying is correct or not. So initially, I'm just now doing one thing here. We have focused on, so that in future, if you will refer the same file, you will not get confused. So above one is the command where we got these two results, right? Only these two results. Then we have tried to write the further complex command where I am saying, give me four things: learner ID, first name, last name, and the orders. So what he has done, whatever be the command we have written in the above part, order learner ID counts as total orders. From orders table, group by order learner ID. He has stored in a temporary table, which is a temp. If you remember, yesterday also I told you, whenever query size will go bigger, try to use a alias name and store the results. Now you know temp table contains two things. What is that? Your ID and the total orders. Now, what you have to do, you have to apply joins. So what you will do, I'm looking forward towards temp dot order learner ID. I'm looking forward towards my learner first name. So in my case, this is the naming convention. It's case sensitive, so just make sure you will just copy paste and will not make any issue in this part. Then temp dot total underscore orders, it is fine. From learners table, this is fine. Now the last thing is owned, learners dot learner ID. So in my case, let me check, is this learner, it's my underscore ID, so I'm just copying it, equal to temp dot, let me just try to run this command. And now you can see how beautifully, whatever result I want, we will be easily able to get that from this particular command. See this? I'm getting the IDs, I'm getting the first name, I'm getting the last name, and how many total orders that person has placed. Maybe Akash has placed 3 orders, Rishikesh only single order, Jeevan single, Akhil 2, Siddesh 1, Nagasai 2, Siddesh, why Siddesh is coming 2 times? Anyhow, 1, and Kanisha 1. So, makes sense? Is this fine? Everyone has done the similar thing. Now you can analyze your own queries. I'm not looking into the further things, but you can just confirm to me. If you have made a mistake, please analyze where you are going wrong. If you have not made a mistake, just be proud to yourself that now you are very good in a joins part. And if you are having confusion, please discuss with me. Then we will move ahead. Any confusion? Shall I proceed and give you one more query on top of this, with the help of which we will be able to understand the further things? So it's a process of going towards CTE, common table expressions.
Yeah, ma'am, done. Ma'am, because of only one comma, it was giving an error. I was really
Okay,
frustrated.
so you got the mistake, right? That's important. Whatever be the issue, I think
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
good. Perfect. Now, please listen again the problem statement very, very carefully. I want you guys to create a fifth column after this total orders, where I will be having these things to find. But on top of this, I'm looking forward towards one more column by the name of average underscore orders. Now, I hope you know what is the meaning of average orders. If you will add all these orders and divide it by, let's say, 8, because we have 8 students enrolled as of now. So you will be able to get the average. Kanisha, do you have any issue in the above command? Anything you are missing here in terms of understanding? It's okay. If you will spend your own time after this, if you are feeling you are a bit slower, it's fine. But if you are feeling the understanding wise there is some issue, you can just stop me at that moment itself. I will repeat the concept.
No, I can understand. I'm just slow.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. I am also one of the slowest student in my sessions, in my classes, when I used to learn from someone. It's okay. So what I'm saying here is ki we will be having all the 4 columns, but apart from this, I'm looking forward towards the average orders now. So average order will remain same. So once you will be able to create that average orders part, it will be same for every particular order. So can you do it for me? Can you create one more column which is indicating the average number of orders which people are having out of the total orders that we have? So again, I'm repeating what is the meaning of average orders. Calculate the total orders per student, which is, let's say, in this case, 3. In this case, it is 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, and so on. Give me the average of that. Average of the total orders which you are getting each student. For example, you're getting total underscore orders for individual students, right? I'm saying average underscore orders for each student. So you have to apply the command of average over this field. I'm giving you one hint so that it will be clear what I'm trying to convey here. So that is what I'm looking forward. Can you do that? How will you solve this expression? And you can give a alias name as average orders per student. Do it and give me the command. Or let's say, I think per student, statistically it would be better if we'll try to find out average order of entire students. So you can do average of the sum of complete total orders. I think that will make more sense. So for example, in this case, we have 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 divided by 8. So you will get some number. That is the average which you will be able to get. And I'm really looking forward towards that average to be printed in the entire 8 students part in a separate column. Do it. So how will you evaluate? I have mentioned that. It's not semantically, I am saying. You just think about logically what I am trying to convey. Do the summation first of entire total orders numerically, and then give the average. Whatever the average you are getting, store it inside this alias name, average orders entire student, in a separate column. And that number will be same for all the students. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In our case. Do it. How will you solve this problem? We are very near towards common table expressions now. So don't give up. You are doing an amazing job. Just think over it. I think it's the second last step. In the last step, I will show you what is CTE now. And then we will wrap up the session. So it won't go beyond 10:30 if you will be in the same pace which you are doing today. Until so far, you are doing an amazing job.
Can you scroll up just a little for the last query? Yes, thank you.
Okay, I got one command. Naga sir, why you are doing grouping by first name and last name as well? What's the logic in this?
Yeah, just it's like I had run one comment, but it's not copied. Yeah, you can only use
Okay.
ID.
Okay. So let me try to copy his command, what he has done, and let's see whether it is correct or not. So he has tried to select uh, let me run this. You are saying temp dot order underscore learner ID. But I think we can do much better than this, what you have done. But I'm just figuring out is that logically correct or not. Uh, in a very simpler manner, we can do the same question. You have made it a bit complex. Average of this you have tried to find out from. You have just copied that thing. So now the answer is correct, but you have tried to find the average of total orders. What I told you is, agar if you will see it again, do the summation first of all of this total orders, then the average.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking forward is the value which is similar to entire student list that we have. So can you rectify now your command accordingly? So this is not correct.
Now, can you see my command also? I am not able to understand what I have made mistake. But can you see if I have made logically correct command?
So what you are doing, you're applying a window function and you are saying order ID, first name, last name, total order from learners table, join, then total orders from orders group by this. Again, this is wrong, first of all. I'm not looking for this thing. Over partition by this thing as average orders.
Sorry, ma'am, my data was gone. I have made some mistake. Let me rewrite the code.
There is not a need of going to, first of all, window functions. That's the thing why I'm coming from that simple question to the complicated one step by step. What I'm really looking forward is for you guys is ki whatever thing we have done in the above query, you can just store it in temp variable. And you can just on top of that do one thing, do the summation of this temp dot total orders, which you're getting in the previous answer itself, and take the average of that. That's it. For example, he has done it correctly. So still he has done his own modifications. He has not directly stored some answer in the temp table. What you can do, you can just directly store it completely inside the temp table and do on top of this. But this is also correct approach where we will be able to get the learner ID and the total orders in the temp table. Then we have joined the learners thing. Now we're looking forward towards the ID, first name, last name, total orders, and the average of, but I'm looking towards the summation of this total orders. That's the only thing which I'm looking forward as. So not per student, I'm saying average orders, entire student. So give me the code for that. And then it is fine. So what changes I will do here in this part?
I think we need to use some function. We need to use some, and in the place of as we need to use over.
Can you write it and give me the command?
Yeah, I sent
what
it.
you are doing?
Yeah.
You have shared, okay?
Yeah. Before as we need to add
So
over.
let me just copy it, what he has done.
Ma'am, but was my approach right or wrong? We can do it in a simpler way, but was that right or wrong? The approach partition by.
Just give me a moment. Average underscore orders underscore entire student. Let's try. Yes, this is the correct thing. This is what I'm looking forward. So I'm just copying this command in the document again. if anyone wants to refer what I am trying to convey, and then we can discuss further. So first of all, let's discuss how can we solve this problem. So I was looking forward towards the four columns. Not four, five, right? Fourth we have done in the previous part. So I'm looking forward towards the ID, first name, last name, total orders, and the average orders for the entire student. So how can we solve this? Now, if you're doing it for the first time, starting from the starting itself, you're not doing small problems, then you will be confused. But if you will be able to observe, I am not taking this as a first problem. I have taken it step by step. So you have to utilize the previous knowledge which you have gained to, accomplish this task. So what you can do is you can just do one thing. You have done the join, right? You have written this command in your system, if you remember. So you have stored it in a time. All these things are same only. He has just copied it. The only thing is we have to add fifth column, right? Apart from whatever we are doing. So what he has done is average of sum of the total orders, because we are looking for the average orders for the entire student. So this sum function will give the total number of values or the orders that we have. On top of this, you're applying average. And then why this over? If I'll just avoid this, will that throw an error? Let's see. Just try to run this command again. Invalid use of group function. And if I'm applying this over close here, and then if I'm running this, I'm not getting any issue. So what is this doing? Any idea? Anyone? For the very first time, we are applying
It is
two
calculating.
aggregation functions in one. Yes, yes, please speak.
It is calculating average of all rows.
So why there is a need to apply overflows here? I'm saying.
That's what because to perform calculation for set of rows we are using.
Yes. So whenever you are using the multiple aggregation operators to calculate the entire number of reports that you want, because you want to do the same thing, not for the first time. You want to do it for the entire columns or not columns, the rows that you have, the number of students that you have. That is where you have to go with this overclose after this. Okay? It will help us to display the result for the entire number of reports that we have. What is that? Average of sum of the total orders that we have. So just copy paste the above command. Don't feel like what I'm saying here. Copy paste whatever you have in the previous case. Write one more field which you will help us to give the average orders of the entire student. That's the only thing which you're supposed to do. Nothing is different here. Not a big deal.
Ma'am, could you please repeat why we have used over function?
So you want this average to be available 1.5 in the entire list, in the entire number of reports you have, right? Because this average is same. Yes?
Yes.
Correct? So if you will just write this particular part, so what will happen? It will just calculate for the number, which is 1.5. But it will not write for all the group by values that you have, which is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So overclose is required to display correspond to every particular value, every particular learner ID which you're writing in a group by close 1.5. So if there comes a situation in future where you are saying that this same value is available, should be available to all the learner IDs that I have, or to all the primary key values that I have, then you will go for this particular close in this scenario. Is it fine? This number will give you one value, which is 1.5. But this value you want to print to entire number of rows that you have. That's why it is what we are mentioning here.
Yes, ma'am.
Any confusion, anyone? Do you want me to stop on this note? Or shall I proceed?
Ma'am, please explain this over function. I'm not getting it.
So in this case, you want to print this value of 1.5. Once you get this value, this will be the value of 1.5 you will be able to get. Now, this particular column of average orders entire student, you want this value to be available in all the records that you have. So if you will just remove this, that's the error which you will be able to get, and accordingly you will be able to understand what I'm trying to convey here. The error is invalid use of group function. So using a grouping on the basis of learner ID, and you're defining only one value, which is 1.5 in this case. But I want to define this 1.5 to all the rows that I have, to all the learner IDs that I have. It will be same only. In that case, I'll just use this over clause here, which will make sure that this value is suitable for all the learner IDs which are mentioning in a group by to write.
Understood.
Any other doubt, anyone? So let's do one thing. Let's pause it here, this session. Tomorrow I'll start from this part itself. I'll continue my story from this part. Went ahead that how can we simplify this query now? You might observe, right? This is a bit complex query. Can you say it's a complex query?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's a part of a complex query. So whenever you will be having this kind of complex queries in your system, then only we will go for common table expression. So tomorrow we will see how with the help of common table expression, it's a very simple thing. It won't take much time, but I want to start this concept with a very fresh mind of you all. Okay? So how with the help of common table expression now, we will be able to write the same query, the same result in an efficient way. That's the only thing which we will see first of all. And then we will discuss one amazing project with respect to this part. If required, there might be a case we can have one more extra session by day after tomorrow. We will see tomorrow itself. Accordingly, we will look into it. Okay?
Ma'am, can you discuss the order of execution of this query? This one.
Okay. Anyone who can give me the answer? What is the order of execution of this query? Nice
Ma'am,
question. Let me just copy this. Just copy this query first and paste it over. Chicken. What is the order of execution?
First internal query will be executed.
So as you all remember, I told you in
yes,
yesterday's class, subquery will be running fine. This is priority P1. So with the help of this, you will be able to get one temporary table in which you will be having two columns, which is the order learner ID, and second column is total underscore orders. After that, what will happen? Which is P2.
Join will be happening.
Okay, very good. So second step will be where on the basis of this step, join will happen, P2. So by default, it will be your inner join. So you will be able to get now merging of two tables. So this was the table 1 and your table 2 was the learners table, which is the table 2. So second step will be P2 will be inner join. Third step.
The first statement, the select statement will be executed.
Now
ma'am, group
after
by.
this, no,
No,
just
no, no, no.
wait for a while.
Group by.
Group by will be executed. Then after that, select.
So now what is the priority P3? We have two statements left. One is select, where we are selecting the particular field values that we have. And the other one is the group by. Now, just think over it. When you will do the inner join of P1 and P2, you will be having what columns you will be having? So you, in a way, you will be having another temporary table, right? After joining these two. where you will be having the IDs, total orders, and whatever values you are selecting, all those things in your merging of these two tables. So group by will happen first or select command will happen first when you're joining these two tables, P1 and P2?
Group Y. After grouping on, we will display it.
Think over it. You are saying join with learners. Now, in your learners part, you are providing the common IDs. So wherever with the common IDs you will see. So you will have all the field names with the learner with the common ID, right? After that, the third thing happens is a P3. It's a filter operation, which will happen, right? Where you will be not filter, sorry. Grouping will happen, not filter, grouping will happen. So you will be able to have the result with respect to learner ID 1. What is the total order? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever values you have. Now you have so many fields with you. At the very end, this select command will run as a P4 to display the result. So here finally you will be able to get or display the results on the dashboard, on the workbench which you are seeing. So out of the multiple fields that we have, we will be able to fetch these many fields to get the result. So this